Morning traders, I'm placing an order to sell short euro. The price I'm looking to sell 116.7. Okay, order placed at 116.7. If you're looking to sell euro, if you're looking to trade euro, here is your chance to follow me, copy this trade and stay with me. I'll speak to you later, guys.
Lots happening on Wall Street.
It's the basic law of economics.
The Fed is telling us this is transitory.
Need to catch up?
This is Bloomberg Wall Street Week. I'm David Weston.
We've got the information and insights.
David, you just hit the nail right on the head.
From businesses most influential and instrumental.
I support the new framework.
We need to invest in our systems.
Bloomberg Wall Street Week premieres Friday with replays all weekend on Bloomberg.
Okay, guys, position open, short position on euro at 116.7. Okay, stay with me. If you manage to sell short this position, stay with me and follow my trade, and we'll make profit on it. I can't tell you how long it will take, but I will tell you that we never sell with losses any positions, and if it will go to different direction, we will arbitrage this position. So we will trade this position. If you want to find out how we do this, you need to get a strategy. It's available on companyeye.co.uk. Okay, stay safe.
This is Bloomberg Surveillance Early Edition. I'm Kaylee Lyons in New York with Francine Lacqua and Danny Berger in London. Now let's get the first word news. And British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says the country's fuel crisis is stabilizing. Johnson pushed back against industry demands to issue more visas to foreign truckers to fix the disruptions in the supply chain. Meanwhile, a retailers association says fewer gas stations have run out of fuel. U.S. regulators are leaning towards authorizing a half-dose booster shot of the Moderna coronavirus vaccine. Bloomberg has learned the FDA is satisfied that the booster is effective in shoring up production. The U.S. has already okayed the Pfizer-BioNTech shot as a booster. The U.S. bank with the most employees, Wells Fargo, has delayed its return to office date again to early next year. The lender will now begin bringing back employees who have been working remotely starting on January 10th. It's the fourth time Wells Fargo has pushed back its return to office date in recent weeks. And Amazon has launched a new robot called Astro, which works with its Alexa voice software. The autonomous gadget can check on pets while a user is away or follow a child through the home on a video call. Amazon is trying to position itself at the center of the booming market for smart home gadgets after a failed foray into smartphones. Astro will initially be sold on an invitation-only basis for $1,000. So it's not cheap, Francine, but it's pretty cute, and I kind of want one.
I know. Me too. I'm not sure what it does still. I read the story 5 times. It does cost £1,000, but it's a little bit like the other guy in Wall-E. We're like obsessed. And I found out both Kaylee and Danny actually have robots that clean around the house.
Yes, I love my robot vacuum, and honestly, I'm not going to spend $1,000 unless it's a vacuum as well. I'm sorry, it might be cute, but it needs to pick up its weight in the household. It's not getting rent for free, Kaylee.
Very fair. My vacuum's name is Edgar, for the record. He's the closest thing I have to a pet.
I was going to say, I just have, small children and a husband. But actually, they don't do the job, so maybe I get a robot. Coming up next, Ed Clissold, Ned Davies Research Chief U.S. Strategist. This is Bloomberg.
that dip buying trade just isn't going to materialize and things could get worse from here.
Yeah, I don't know what the catalyst is, but certainly, Kaylee, that's what the market is searching for.
Yeah, buy the dip may not work forever, but at least it seems to be working today in both the equity market and the bond market on both sides of the Atlantic. Of course, we're coming off really steep losses in both Europe and the U.S. yesterday, so the gains we're seeing this morning don't offset what happened in the Tuesday session. But nonetheless, they are still gains in Europe. The stock 600 up about 1% at this point. And of course, it was big tech that really lagged hard in the U.S. session yesterday because yields moved so sharply higher. Today, though, as yields come in, big tech actually looks like it may outperform with NASDAQ 100 futures up about 0.9%. Of course, as I said, yields coming in about 3 basis points on the U.S. 10-year. We're just shy of 151. And also retreating today is oil. WTI is down about 0.8%, trading at 74.68 a barrel, not able to maintain its highest level since October of 2018. Now, of course, with oil moving lower, you can bet energy stocks also moving lower in pre-market trading. That kind of is the story, though we are off session lows, and actually Occidental Petroleum has been able to flip into positive territory. It's up about 0.33% in early hours at this point, though you still see the likes of ExxonMobil and Schlumberger in negative territory, Danny.
Well, Kaylee, on my end here, I have broken out the models, and specifically, I am looking at the term premium to help explain the recent rise in yields we've seen recently. I want to welcome our radio listeners as well. And for our radio listeners, what I have up here is a very simple line chart, and it tracks the premium that investors...
Okay, guys, let's place stop for euro. If the direction will change, we will collect our profit. Stop I'm going to place at 116.65. Just right here. Okay, please do so. Please copy this stop and stay with me.
That would favor cyclical stocks and small cap stocks, partly because the market doesn't do the same thing the same way twice.
When you went to Harvard Law School, did you say, maybe someday I'll be on the Supreme Court?
Anybody who thinks maybe someday I'll be on the Supreme Court, I don't want to say there's something wrong with him, but there is something wrong.
Like I was yesterday afternoon.
Position closed, guys. As you can see, at 116.65. 5 pips in profit. Well done, guys. Let's move on. Let's see what other pairs, what other indices will give us profit. Oh, right. You don't have indices here on the screen. If you want to get more trading opportunities, you need to get a strategy. You need to understand how it works. Otherwise, you always will see only pairs we choose for you. If you're happy with this, stay with me. I'll speak to you later.
Raging debate, and that's what sets us up for surveillance this morning. The bond market is shifted, but how much is it shifted?
Transitory for longer and a little bit later, Tom. Wait for this one. We will hear from a dangerous man.
You have backed into never being consistently less safe, and that makes you a dangerous man to hang out with family.
He's a dangerous man to hang out with friends, Tom King. We'll hear from him again. And then we see Paul a little bit later. The S&P 500, biggest one-day drop since May. The NASDAQ, biggest one-day drop since March.